Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Pete's Corner. We're your hosts. I'm Alice McElhoe.
And I'm Adam Morey. It's homecoming week at OSU, but not just any homecoming.
That's right, we are celebrating OSU's 100th homecoming this week, and we're doing that by focusing on what makes this America's greatest homecoming. OSU's homecoming is all about tradition, and one of the most visible traditions is our mascot, Pistol Pete. Earlier this week, Brody Myers spoke with former Pistol Pete Scott Petty about his time as a Pete.
Look around. You don't have to look far to see him. Oklahoma State's venerated cowboy mascot, Pistol Pete. But he's more than a logo. A select group of OSU students get to portray Pistol Pete every year. Scott Petty, member of the former Pete fraternity, tried out on something of a whim.
And so I said, what are the requirements to be Pete? You know, what does it take to try out? And so he told me, he said, hey, you can come over to the house, put on the head. And so I did that. And I just thought, man, this is kind of cool.
Pistol Pete is based off of a real-life cowboy, Frank Eaton, who became a U.S. Marshal at the age of 17. So portraying Pete comes with a higher level of accountability and prestige. That set with Scott every time he put on the head.
In fact, it's a significant part of the tryout process is just understanding that you have a respect and a clarity of this was a real person.
Curtis Davis was OSU's cheer coach in the 80s during Scott Petty's tenure as Pistol Pete. He saw firsthand the skills it took to be the ultimate cowboy.
I rubbed elbows with Pete. I had the pleasure and privilege, but there's a fraternity there. There is something about actually being Pete.
Pistol Pete is most visible at sporting events, but the mascot makes appearances at all kinds of events almost every day of the year. Pete comes in many forms like Swinging Pete or Tennis Pete. But what's Scott Petty's favorite version?
But you gotta John Smith and I are the same age. So my first wrestling match that I ever went to, I got to see him wrestle. And so I do like the Wrestling Pete too. I mean, it's hard to put your finger on one.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Brody Myers.
Thank you, Brody.
Pistol Pete, certainly the most recognizable member of the cowboy family, but he's not the only one. Since the 40s, fraternities and sororities have been competing to decorate their lawns the best. Sam Milik has the story.
It could not be called America's greatest homecoming without pomping. Pomping has been a big part of the homecoming tradition at Oklahoma State. The process of placing paper on chicken wire to create elaborate designs has made homecoming the visual spectacle it is for generations. Griff McClellan is a member of Theta Chi fraternity, and he teases all what his team is up to this year.
What we'll do is we'll cut out the wire, which is holding all the paper together, in which people can actually stand in the frame and take pictures as if it's a Polaroid picture. It'll be a really cool interactive feature for people.
The task, while laborious, seems to have had some pretty good positives for McClellan.
It's fun staying here late at night, hanging with my friends, hanging with brothers, just talking, having a good time, and getting some work done as well. It's a very productive, therapeutic activity, I would say.
Whether you're a new member or have since moved on, pomping seems to create memories that will last forever. Sigma Chi alumnus Jonathan Cooper sat down with me and shared his experiences with pomping while preparing for homecoming.
Sometimes it would be a hassle trying to balance it with schoolwork, the social life, freshman follies, which we had practice for every day. So it was a lot of time commitment.
Like McClellan, Cooper was able to create some fun memories with his brothers during exhausting times.
I remember one of my best friends, Alex, he was, pushing the tissue paper and the pencil into the chicken wire and was literally falling asleep as he was doing it. We were just all delirious, drunk on Red Bull.
Pomping is a timeless staple here at Oklahoma State, and it is something that will carry on for generations to come, each one making it bigger than those who came before. For Pete's Corner, I'm Sam Milik.
All of the fraternities and sororities have finished their pomping, and those results are visible during walk-around, which we'll talk more about later.
While older and more established fraternities are working on decorating their lawns, some smaller fraternities and sororities don't have lawns to decorate. How are they handling it? Olivia Rodriguez is looking into it.
Homecoming is a major deal for many fraternities and sororities on campus, especially with this being the 100th year of America's Greatest Homecoming. The ladies of Omega Phi Alpha and men of Phi Kappa Sigma are doing things from a different angle. While they are participating in events like other fraternities and sororities, they are having to do things on a smaller scale because Phi Kappa Sigma currently only has 8 active members and Omega Phi Alpha only has 19 active members.
So our biggest thing has been the pomping. We spend about 5 hours every day pomping every day of the week except for Sunday, Saturday, but we've had a pomping party or 2 on Saturdays to kind of get more involvement going.
Parties we would do, on Saturday we actually did a breakfast pomping party. We cooked breakfast for anyone who showed up. Then we had, the OFI gals had a big little pomping night.
While doing that, they are also participating in other events that have taken place throughout the week.
Harvest Carnival for the kids, we did the chili cook-off, and we will of course participate in the parade this coming Saturday.
We did the Harvest Carnival last night. We did a sign, obviously. We're doing a float in the parade.
Another challenge that the new sorority and fraternity are facing is a financial one. Since they're not as well established, they're struggling to raise funds and relying on donations to help them out financially.
We have to rely on donations a lot for a lot of the money stuff. We don't have the ability to really do a fundraiser successfully because we are so small and people aren't aware of us and people don't know our names.
One thing that they are doing that is a bit different from the large sororities and fraternities is that their pomp will be in the parade. Since they are a newer chapter, they are currently unhoused, but this allows them to showcase their work.
We're excited to all be together to pomp and to really just show off our school spirit and homecoming pride in the parade.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Olivia Rodriguez.
Olivia, we look forward to seeing that float in the parade.
Coming up, I go to the archives to learn how homecoming has changed over the years. But first, do you know what Oklahoma State's homecoming record is? The answer when we come back.
I want to show you something. This is the money we could save by switching from fresh packed California crushed tomatoes to concentrated tomato paste.
I want to show you something too. I got a new door. Go take a look at it.
Nobody uses better ingredients than Little Caesars, like fresh-packed California crushed tomatoes. Pick up a large, deep dish for just $8.
Pizza.
Introducing Lincoln Black Label at Diffie Ford Lincoln. Designed to impress those with impeccable taste, Lincoln Black Label features a collection of interior themes and a host of exclusive membership privileges, inspired by attention to detail and a love of automobiles. With Lincoln Black Label, you'll enjoy an extended premium maintenance plan that covers wear items or even remote vehicle delivery. Lincoln Black Label isn't about luxury ownership, it's about membership. Lincoln Black Label, exclusively at Diffie Ford Lincoln.
At ASAP Energy, our goal is to provide the best customer service for whatever our clients need.
My relationship with ASAP Energy came about in 2007. I was wanting to build a convenience store. I didn't know how to do it. I'd never been in the business. I just felt comfortable with Rick. And so I knew that I wanted to do business with a guy like that. Integrity, loyalty, and family. I would recommend that to anybody. Thanks for taking a chance on me.
At ASAP Energy, everything matters.
Welcome back to Pete's Corner. I'm Adam Morey, and before our break, we asked you if you knew what Oklahoma State's homecoming record was. The answer? 65 wins, 38 losses, and 6 ties.
Last year, walk-around had to be canceled due to COVID-19, but this year it is back. Carter Stanton talked to some Cowboys that have worked tirelessly to make sure that this is one of the best homecomings yet.
The tradition of walk-around is one of the staples of homecoming at Oklahoma State. Every year, OSU's Greek organizations create elaborate house decorations. They spend hours rolling tissue paper into designs and hanging them outside on decks. Thousands of OSU faithful walk a path that traces several miles on campus, taking in all there is to see.
It is really just mass chaos. There's
usually around 80,000 people that come to Stillwater for the event, and walk around has always been the biggest thing.
But walk around hasn't always been what we know it as today.
The sororities used to decorate their doors, and so people would walk around and just want to see other chapters' doors. Ultimately, it's developed into what it is today.
The return of homecoming this year means that campus will once again be buzzing with students and alumni, and it may be more crowded than ever before.
We're expecting a lot. You know, with COVID dying down, obviously we want to be safe, but we're expecting a lot of people to come.
As many students know, these house decorations take a tremendous amount of effort. They're tedious, and they certainly aren't made overnight.
For pretty much all semesters so far, we've been working on this. Can be 10 to 20 hours a week for 2 months. It's really a lot.
For freshmen and sophomores in Greek life, like Jake, working homecoming has been a brand new experience. While the workload may have initially come as a shock, the thought of seeing the end product is what keeps him motivated.
Really, I wasn't sure what to expect, and just learning everything and being able to be a part of this is just such a cool experience. I'm super excited to see the final product. I can already tell it's going to be so worth it at the end.
For students, the hard work is almost over. Soon, it'll be time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the breathtaking end result. For Pete's Corner, I'm Carter Stanton.
It's like the action.
Yeah.
So it's like the process of you get a chicken wire screen, and then you take, I think it's tissue paper, and then a pencil, and put it in the holes, and it makes it kind of I've seen multiple different methods on TikTok and stuff, but I think ours looks the best. So.
When they decorate and built the posters outside, right?
Yeah.
I know people. They say it's little tissue paper, and then these chicken wire things, and make a little design.
Chicken wire deck that is put on a bunch of steel, and there are little pieces of tissue paper that are glued into the spots to make a big, colorful mural based on the theme.
Oh, that's the thing where chicks they stay up all night, right? And they put paper and wood boards or something. I know sorority girls talk about it and they come to class really sleepy and but that's pretty much all I know. I think they're out here, right? Am I wrong or?
No, yeah, they go in front of the houses.
Okay, yeah, somewhere right there, yeah. And then it's big pictures or something with paper and that's about it.
When you take a number 2 pencil, this is a number 2 pencil, but you have very small pieces of tissue paper, and you stack them on top of each other, and you glue the chicken wire, and you stick the pump on, and then you stick it in the deck.
And whenever in the chicken wire you put the tissue paper through, and it makes the big house decks for walk around.
And students, you can come see the finished house decks and vote on your favorites this Friday during walk around at 5:30.
So now we know a little bit more about homecoming, but who are the students that drive it? Up next, Michaela Vaughn tells us what it's like to be the executive homecoming director.
Oklahoma State's homecoming is special to so many different people for so many different reasons. For Ariel Schulten, the 100th celebration of homecoming holds meaning and sentiment differently than anyone else.
Getting to be the Centennial Executive Homecoming Director is truly the greatest honor of my collegiate career.
Ariel is the executive director of homecoming, meaning she oversees the 3 homecoming committees and has a hand in most homecoming-related things. She's put in many hours of work leading up to homecoming, making sure that her committees have what they need in order to be successful.
I originally got involved my freshman year because I wanted to be a part of the group of the people who dyed the fountain orange.
Ariel says that her love for homecoming started with a cup like this. She said she saw them dye the fountain orange her freshman year and wanted to be part of it ever since.
And then this year I had the honor of leading the orange fountain dyeing.
Ariel loves the unity and togetherness of the student body that homecoming brings.
Anyways, I just think it truly is America's greatest homecoming because it has America's greatest people working on it.
Sophomore Madison Yulberg is excited to see campus in a way she's never seen before.
I'm excited to experience it. As a freshman, I did not get to experience COVID homecoming, but I'm excited to this year. I'm excited to see the walk around, and I got to see the fountain dyed orange. That was pretty awesome.
Ariel says that the 100th celebration of homecoming is going to be over the top.
It's just like unfathomable that 80,000 people want to come celebrate past, present, and future generations of Cowboys to me.
For Pete's Corner, I'm Michaela Vaughn.
Thanks, Michaela. I love hearing about the unity that homecoming brings the Cowboy family.
Some of OSU's homecoming traditions cross sports barriers. Jacob Horchler takes a look.
In the city of Stillwater, there is no busier week than Homecoming Week. Dubbed America's greatest homecoming celebration, for a whole week the town comes alive for one of Oklahoma State University's biggest traditions. Among the typical festivities are the annual dyeing of the Edmund Lowe Fountain, the pomping of the Greek houses, the walk-around, of course, the homecoming football game, and Homecoming in Hoops, the celebration for the start of basketball season. Homecoming in Hoops allows fans to get their first look at the teams. As with all homecoming activities, Homecoming in Hoops was canceled last year due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but OSU has worked hard to bring this classic homecoming tradition back for the fans, although it might look a little different. Long gone are the memories of a fully packed Gallagher-Iba arena, but this year for Homecoming Hoops, Beta Theta Pi has partnered with the university to bring back a homecoming favorite. I'm here at the Beta Theta Pi basketball courts, location of OSU's first ever Homecoming Hoops Remix, a twist on a classic homecoming tradition the university is excited to be able to put on for its centennial homecoming. Now, obviously the weather has taken a turn for the worse here in Stillwater this week, but don't worry, the forecast calls for temperatures in the mid-60s and sun Friday afternoon, just in time for this exciting new edition of a homecoming tradition. Beta Theta Pi President Jonathan Buskirk has been in charge of handling Homecoming Hoops Remix for the fraternity. He says that it wasn't originally something the fraternity had even considered, but when the school's athletic department reached out to him nearly 2 months ago, it was a no-brainer for him. Busy with preparations for Homecoming Hoops Remix, Assistant Director of Athletic Communications for men's basketball, Patrick Osborne, was unable to meet for an interview, but still sent some context on the decision to host the event at the Beta House. This year's homecoming promises to be special, not just because it's the centennial celebration, or because of the absence of all homecoming activities last year, but also because of Homecoming in Hoops Remix. For Pete's Corner, I'm Jacob Horchler.
Thanks for that, Jacob. I love that homecoming is about all sports and not just football.
Homecoming also brings back thousands of alumni to Stillwater every year. Maggie Burke talked to a few of them to see how different it is as an alumni and a student.
Once a cowboy, always a cowboy. This is what has been established by Oklahoma State University's homecoming over the past 100 years.
I've been going to the homecoming parade. We sat in the same spot pretty much, I would say, since 1980. I feel very loyal to OSU, and therefore it just kind of brings back good memories, and you're just kind of proud to be a cowboy.
The first homecoming was made for alumni to come back and feel back at home and celebrate together. It has grown dramatically since then and involves more than only alumni, but that same goal is still accomplished. Homecoming brings in more than 70,000 alumni every year. With this year being the centennial and last year's homecoming being canceled, attendance is predicted to be at an all-time high. OSU's homecoming is known for being America's greatest, and alumni have no doubt that this is the truth. Past students who lived out of state find a way to make it back and celebrate with friends and family.
I've gotten to go to several, and I'm actually going to come Friday night. It's just, there's nothing like it. If I would just tell people, I tell people all the time, if you want a true sense of homecoming, go to Oklahoma State.
Homecoming events have remained traditional and haven't seen a lot of change, but have seen a lot of growth.
But I think it feels the same, just bigger.
So, it's a lot the same. There was still the walk-arounds and the yard decorations, they were fantastic then, but they might be a little bit better now.
There are reunion tailgates for different colleges that welcome alumni to come back and celebrate with fellow Cowboys and reunite with old friends. Homecoming is just that, Cowboys coming home. For Pete's Corner, I'm Maggie Burke.
The fact that thousands of people feel like they're part of the Cowboy family definitely contributes to this being America's greatest homecoming.
Still upcoming, we look at how homecoming has changed over the years. But first, do you know how many alumni attended the first homecoming? The answer might shock you. We'll have it right after this short commercial break.
Where were you born? It's a question asked all the time. Because where you're from shapes who you are, inspires how you do things. And when that inspiration comes from a place this refreshing, this majestic, this, well, you get the idea. Coors Light, born in the Rockies.
David Peters moved to Stillwater in 1971. 14 years later, he started working in the library. This will be David's 50th homecoming, so he's seen some changes. He says the walk-around has grown.
But there'd be, maybe 15 to 20,000 people, walking around. And there weren't all the vendors and all the other, added things that have been included now.
The house decorations have also become much more detailed. However, the parade floats have become smaller.
As the more and more resources have gone towards the house decorations, fewer resources are available for floats. And so I've noticed the floats used to be fairly substantial. They weren't Rose Bowl type floats, but they were substantial floats.
David said he always enjoys AGR's house decorations because of the movement. And his favorite homecoming so far?
I guess probably one of my favorite homecomings would have to be 1975, because I got to drive a float in homecoming.
David has been collecting photos of past homecomings and says he's enjoyed seeing differences between old homecomings and parade routes. Prior to 1920, there were competitions between organizations and schools within Oklahoma A&M, but 1920 was the first year the term homecoming was used. And even though a lot has changed over the years, one thing hasn't. This is still America's greatest homecoming. For Pete's Corner, I'm Adam Morey.
I just read a book about this. Oh my goodness.
I have no idea.
No idea?
No.
Texas.
Which one?
A&M.
You're right. No way.
Oh, I do not. I'm very, kind of not involved, so I actually don't know.
It's either Kingfisher College, OU, or, who's the third school in that conference?
No idea, but my guess is University of Oklahoma.
Really close. It was A&M.
Oh, okay. And then, wrong state.
Who we played? I have no clue.
Kansas.
I'll say OU.
OU? It was A&M. You're both pretty close.
Texas A&M?
I'm gonna go with Kingfisher.
It was A&M.
It was A&M?
Yeah, you were close.
Dang it.
Who is the University of Kansas?
Close.
No.
Is it Kansas State?
Kansas State.
No. Oh, you're right. Yeah.
A&M. Ah. It's America's greatest homecoming. You gotta do some research.
Okay.
Welcome back. It was actually 90 alumni that attended the first homecoming, with 50 of them being here in Stillwater and 40 driving from a little bit further away. You know, Adam, all the traditions of OSU's homecoming are super important, but there's one that we haven't touched on yet.
That's right, the game. OSU Cowboys are coming off of a tough road loss against Iowa State last weekend, ready to take on the Kansas Jayhawks. However, that doesn't mean it's going to be an easy win. The Jayhawks led the Sooners 10-0 at half last week. For more information on the game, be sure to check out the Poke Report with Asa and Dallas.